Hi, everybody. We are in
Hi.
for a treat. This is the Get More Students webinar or seminar, really, today, which is with our very own Herbert Gerser telling us all about really how to make our Facebook ads more effective with the ultimate beginner's guide to Facebook ads. My name is Alex Asher. I'm the CEO of LearnCube. We have a virtual classroom and online school software business. And what we're really trying to do in these seminars is to give you the tools and ideas and inspiration for you to really grow your language or tutoring business. So let's also go through my co-hosts here. I'm going to start with Korinne, because then we'll go into Herbert, who's going to then talk a little bit more. But Korinne, tell us about you and why people are going to be listening in today.
Okay, so as Alex said, I'm Korinne, and I'm a marketing consultant. I work almost exclusively with education businesses, mostly schools, but also some agencies and other service providers. And I help them with all manners of marketing. I have a special interest in digital marketing and content. But I do all types of other things, branding, bit of this, bit of that. But definitely content is where I tend to make my mark. So I work with schools and businesses to improve their content, to produce content for them. Anything to do with content, I am your girl.
And Korinne, do you want to give us a quick teaser of what you're going to be talking about shortly?
Absolutely. So today I thought I would just take a few minutes of everyone's time and go over sort of different content types for engagement and the different types of engagement that we can expect from those content types.
Excellent. And Herbert, what's your teaser? You're going to be coming in after Korinne.
Sure. Well, I wanted to give our listeners, our viewers, really just a quick framework on how to launch their first Facebook ad campaigns, and we will go through that live.
Fantastic. Corinne, I'm going to pass over to you then.
Sure. Let me see if I can share my screen.
No problem.
And okay, let's have a look. That is not the screen I want to share. That one is. There we go. Now I'm in the right place. And let me just pop this into present mode. Now, can everyone see my screen there? Have you got that?
Let me get that for us now. So.
Perfect.
Perfect. Let's see it.
Yes.
Okay, well, I'll get started so that we don't lose too much time. So before Herbert takes over, I thought talks us through Facebook ads, which I am personally also very excited about. I thought I would grab a few minutes and look at look at organic content, and specifically the types of content for good engagement, because ultimately we want all of our content to get lots of comments, shares, saves, likes, and so on. So let's move this over. Is it going to move? There we go. So before we move into sort of the engagement part, I have to remind everybody that when we post, we must always post with purpose. So that means we're asking ourselves these questions. Does this post fit with my brand, my values, my goals? What do I hope to achieve with this post? Is it the right kind of post? So is it a video, a carousel, a regular post, all those different things? Is it the right type of post for what I want it to do? Is it visually on brand? And will people find it engaging? And that is where we segue into why engagement is important. So engagement, it basically tells the algorithms how good your content is, so how many people are interacting with your content, and if it should be suggested to more people. So that's kind of, a very simple, in a nutshell, kind of description of why engagement's important. We have 4 main engagement types. And this is particularly true for Instagram, but it does apply across the board, mostly to other platforms as well. So we've got likes, we've got comments, we've got shares, and we've got saves. So let me give you a few examples. So if you were trying to get, or if you were wanting to post something that was going to generate some engagement in terms of likes, you would be looking at posting things that have like beautiful photos, milestones or special days or occasions, motivational posts, funny content, testimonials. These are the sorts of content types that tend to generate a great deal of likes. So if you look at the example, which is on your screen now, which is a nice picture of a dog. So that was posted by Atlantic Language School in Ireland for St. Patrick's Day. So that's one of these sort of milestone type posts. And you can see that that post in particular, when I screenshotted it, it already had 91 likes. So it was a post that was doing quite well in terms of likes. Okay, so comments. The types of posts that will bring in comments are a post where you might give advice, you might give feedback, you could ask your audience for an opinion or for them to do something like fill in the blanks or, participate in a this and that type of game. Or it's a post where you sort of tell a story where people are likely to relate to you and then also, comment about that. Now, if we look at the example on the right-hand side, that's from englishanywhere.de. So Kate at englishanywhere.de, she does a lot of really great content for generating comments. And the one that you see on your screen was a word search, but it wasn't just a simple word search. Kate teaches English, and therefore it was, telling people to find phrasal verbs. So it was sort of just a little bit more than a simple, find some words. There really was a purpose behind it. And I've just, this is just 3 simple screenshots that I took, but there were many more. You can see really far right, all the different comments that she got on that post. So it was very successful in terms of generating comments. Okay, shares. So that's when somebody sees your content and forwards it to another person. The types of content that tends to be shared are memes, news, trending information, trending reels, funny content, or controversial content. Now, in the education world, we may not want to touch on some of those, but there is a place for, for example, on the right-hand side, you see a reel that was created by Emma at Attinger Digital, and she had used a trending reel. So she'd used a trending audio, and that generated tons of shares because people, it was quite amusing, it was entertaining, and people liked that and thought, okay, I'll pass it on to somebody else. Then lastly was saves. Now, saves are arguably the most important engagement type. It's the one that really indicates to the algorithm that your content is, people think your content is worth revisiting, going back to, that they want to save it so that they can use it as a resource. And so, it's a really important content type or engagement type to build content for. So, saves, things like lists, checklists, resources, guides, tutorials, training, practical exercises, all of those things that really add value, really, things that people will find really useful tend to be saved. The example is one of my own examples. So how to pick the right hashtags. Now that was actually a carousel post. It had various slides. And that was shared actually quite a lot of times on the first day, saved quite a lot of times on the first day, 9 times already, which is, pretty good. All right. So that was just me, short and sweet today. And if you have any questions about, content types and engagement, feel free to reach out to me either via email or on Instagram. You'll find me there at Kaya_marketing. So that's it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for that, Korinne. So I found that really, really helpful.
Yes.
I always kind of get a little bit, I think sometimes I'm using the wrong tool for the wrong job, or I think you really kind of clarified that there's these just different tools to get different outcomes.
Exactly.
Definitely.
And Herbert, we're going to be going into a conversation very shortly, and this is going to be.
Please give me a minute because I'm having trouble sharing my screen. So please talk, Alex. While I sort this out.
Well, I'm actually kind of, Korinne, this gives us an opportunity to kind of talk about what sort of happened in the last month in terms of, what are some of the trends or what are some of the influences on, what's going on in the world. And it would be hard not to talk about what's happening in Ukraine.
Exactly.
Because it's having such a huge impact on people, obviously in a very negative way, those people being there. But in the language sector, I have been overwhelmed with how much support there is out there for and companies trying to really get on board and trying to help. And I do think there's a lot of genuine support, and we're also trying to do look for ways that we can help as well. But what's your take on that? What have you seen on your side, Korinne?
Yeah, well, as you said, it's actually been really, I think it touched many of us in the education industry, especially in the language part of the education industry, very profoundly, because we all have Ukrainian students, or we've had Ukrainian students, and also the other side, many schools have Russian students as well, and it's been a very sort of challenging time for them. So I think that the sort of the personal nature of this horrible situation has really hit home for many of us. And I think that's another reason why the education industry has been so motivated to show support and get behind it. I've had a lot of really interesting conversations with schools where they're sort of saying, okay, yes, our hearts go out to our Ukrainian students, but how do we deal with having also Russian students in class with Ukrainian students and with other students? How do we make that conversation, how do we make that also a safe space for them? Because, perhaps their views are not in line with what's going, with what their country is doing right now. And, how do we make that safe space for them? And there's no easy answer to that. So I've had some really interesting, very thought-provoking conversations around that as well.
Yeah. And I think it's impacting numbers as well, a whole section of the market is obviously affected by it in both ways.
Absolutely. And I think Spain as well is going to feel the impacts of this quite extremely, because Spain is such a big market for Russia. So I think that for language schools, particularly in Spain, it's sort of an uneasy time right now, because in the summer they were relying really on these big groups to come across from Russia, and that's just not going to be part of the equation anymore.
Yeah, very interesting. So we're gonna hopefully I think it was important just to kind of, this was the number one kind of theme of this month that I wanted to highlight. But now we're going to get back to our main event today, and our main event is going to be talking about the ultimate beginner's guide to Facebook ads with Herbert Gozer. So
fantastic. Thank you so much. And yes, I mean, today, obviously, we don't have that much time. We have about 25 to 30 minutes, so we can't go through every single thing about Facebook ads, but I really wanted to give you a framework so that you can launch your first Facebook ads campaign with me today. And I'm going to actually go through it in the Ads Manager. So Facebook ads, you've heard about it. You know that other schools and businesses are running Facebook ads and maybe other paid campaigns, generating leads and enrollments for their courses. You've probably also tried launching a few campaigns yourself in the past, but you've probably struggled to get quality leads or enrollments at a reasonable cost. You may have even hired someone to run your ads for you, didn't work, didn't get any results, and it's costing you a lot of time and money, so you decide to stop your campaigns. But deep down in your heart that there is this opportunity with paid advertising to get the word out about your school and to drive enrollments. So before we start, especially if you are a complete beginner at Facebook ads, I just wanted to go through the structure and also some of the key terms and language that we use. So when we create an ads campaign, first of all, you need to know that there is something called a business manager, Facebook Business Manager. A lot of people, when they first launch campaigns, they do it through their personal Facebook profile. And I highly recommend you to take the step to open up a business manager, which is like an umbrella for all of your assets on Facebook, which include your ad account, your Facebook pixel, which is installed on your website, your Facebook page, and your Instagram page. And so what you need to do is you need to go to business.facebook.com here and create a business manager. And then you will create an ad account within that business manager. Make sure to add all of your business details, your address, the name, your VAT number, and also a payment method. You will then create a pixel. And this pixel needs to be installed correctly on your website. I won't go through this with you today. These are prerequisites to launching your first campaign. I recommend just going to Facebook's help support website, and it clearly explains how you can set up your own pixel properly onto your website so that you can track and measure the success of your campaigns. And then you can also easily migrate your Facebook and Instagram page into the business manager so that you can run these ads through Facebook and Instagram. So how are campaigns structured? Well, first of all, we have the campaign level where we choose the objective. I will show you what type of objectives we have and the objective that I would recommend for you to start off with. Then we have the second level, the ad set level, and this is where you choose your target audience, which we will do today as well, the type of bids, where your ads are shown. And then the last level is the ad level, which is where you actually create your ads. You choose the ad format, whether that's a photo or a video. You put in your headline, your ad copy, and your URL, and also the call to action. Yes, campaign structure again, campaign level, ad set level, and ad level. So that gives you an idea of the structure. And then here a few key terms that you should understand, the KPIs, which stands for Key Performance Indicator. The first one is return on ad spend, so the ROAS, which is the ratio of how much you've spent on your ad and how much you've actually gotten back in terms of revenue, if you are tracking it through your website. Cost per lead, also important for schools or businesses that are doing more lead generation rather than purchase conversions or getting people to register. Cost per click, also something to keep an eye out. Cost per acquisition, very important. How much does it cost you to register or enroll someone into one of your programs? Cost per impression, CPM, CTR is the click-through rate, impressions, reach, frequency, and quality ranking. So these are, you don't need to know them off by heart, but just so that you know about these terms, you've probably seen and heard them before, CPL, CPC, CPA, just so that they are now front and center in your mind. And so really the idea of a campaign, setting up a campaign, is to bring in new traffic. So audiences that have never heard about you before through cold traffic ads, what we like to call it, to generate some interests with great content, photos and videos. They will be directed to your website or landing page where you give them the information that they need. And hopefully they will take action. They will book a level placement test. They will sign up for a free demo. They will enroll in a course. That is the ideal situation. But usually most people will leave your landing page or website without taking any action, or maybe only taking the first step. And so that's why we have retargeting ads to remind people of, hey, we're still here. You visited our website. Maybe you're still interested in signing up. And this is actually the campaign that we will set up together today. So let's talk about targeting, how to find your perfect audience. So on Facebook, you have three options in terms of audience targeting. And let's go through them very quickly. The first one is saved audiences, custom audiences, and then look-alike audiences. Saved audiences are where you can choose your audience based on characteristics. So as a business owner, as a language school or tutoring business owner, you should know who your target client, target customer is. Maybe you have created client avatars or buyer personas in the past, and you can utilize these to filter out your audience through saved audiences. And basically what it is, actually, I'll show you here. We are in the ads manager and we are in the tab audiences, and you have these options here, and you would create a saved audience, and you can now filter through. You can choose the countries, you can choose the age, the gender, the language spoken, or the language, really the profile language of Facebook users. And here is where it gets quite interesting. You can choose different interests, behaviors, and demographics. Again, based on your ideal customer. And so you could create several audiences to test. And this is also a great way of reaching new people who have never heard about your business before. The second one is custom audiences. And this is a fantastic way to retarget people, because you create audiences based on people who have already interacted with your business. That could be people who have already visited your website, Facebook followers, a list of newsletter subscribers, etc. And we will go more into this a bit later. The third one and the last one is lookalike audiences, which is a fantastic way of leveraging data you already own about your current customers and past customers, so that Facebook can go out and find similar people like them. So usually what you do is you upload a list of emails from current and past students or customers. The more the better. You want at least, I would say, 200 emails in order to create a suitable lookalike audience, and then you can use that in one of your campaigns as well. So, but when it comes to Facebook ads, because I know it can get very confusing, there are a lot of options out there. I really wanted to keep things simple today. And really the easiest win for most businesses is using custom audiences to set up a retargeting campaign. So what is retargeting? I like to say it is achieving omnipresence. And what does that mean? It is being everywhere all the time, following your ideal customer everywhere they go on the internet until they take that specific action you want them to take. Or maybe if they're not interested, then they don't do anything. But really, people need many different touch points in order to purchase. They say people need at least 7 touch points. And launching a retargeting campaign and have that running in the background all the time is a fantastic way of increasing the touch points across different platforms. Yes. So who can we retarget? I've already mentioned website visitors, people who have visited specific pages of your website. For example, maybe an intensive Spanish course. And so you can create an ad specifically for that course, only to people who have visited that page. People who have added to cart, but haven't gone through with the purchase. People who have filled out a contact form. Again, Facebook and Instagram followers, newsletter subscribers, unconverted leads is a great audience as well. And so the purpose of the retargeting campaign are a few things, depending on what your goals are for the campaigns. One is to push people to the next step of your sales funnel. So maybe someone signed up for a demo lesson, but they haven't purchased yet. We can retarget those people who have signed up for a demo lesson but haven't purchased, and push them along to purchase, maybe with a promotion, a little discount for people who just need that extra push. We can also showcase new offers, new products, and upsell to existing students and customers. We can leverage student testimonials to build trust and social proof with people who are undecided, and again, need that extra bit of convincing before they take that next step. And of course, we can be more direct with our retargeting campaigns and ask for the sale. Again, people who know you already, you can be much more direct with them because you've already built that relationship. And so, having a book now, limited time only, our next course is starting on this X date, and these are great ways to use retargeting. So this is a simple example of a retargeting ad. This is for a cart abandonment, you would say, but really this is a registration abandonment. Again, someone went to the checkout for this course, but they didn't purchase or didn't enroll. And so you can see here in the headline, we call people out, forgot about your IELTS exam. And then in the first sentence here of the ad copy, you only need to take one more step to conquer your IELTS exam. So again, this is very specific to someone who has been through that process. They've chosen the course, they've gone to the checkout page, but haven't purchased. And these are super effective ways of getting them across the line. Yes, again, people who already know about you are much easier to convert than complete strangers, which is why retargeting campaigns are so effective. And unless you're starting from scratch, you're a new business or you have no audience, then this is the first campaign you should always launch. And that is what we are going to do today. Taking a bit of a bird's eye view, you want to look for possible leaks in your sales funnel and kind of repair them through retargeting campaigns. Again, people who visit a course page but didn't fill in the contact form or the lead form or a free demo, people who submitted the contact lead form but didn't sign up for a free demo lesson, and then probably the last one, people who signed up for a free demo lesson but didn't sign up for a course. So you could create retargeting campaigns or retargeting ads for each of these three levels to drive people to that next step. Now, we know that retargeting campaigns are a great way to start off with, especially with Facebook ads, and you can do it on a low budget. You don't need thousands of dollars or euros or pounds to start a retargeting campaign, but what do I actually put in the ad? And I think a lot of people struggle with creating ads, and ads need to resonate with your target audience. They need to get them to stop scrolling in order for them to understand what you're trying to sell them at the end of the day. And so I wanted to give you 5 tips on how to get inspiration for ads. I'm not going to tell you how to write the ads, but yeah, giving you some ideas. And so before we do that, I wanted to show you the structure of an ad. Here we have an example ad from my tutor. Firstly, we have the name of your Facebook business page, usually the name and the logo. Then we have the text or the body of the ad, which we call the ad copy. We have the creative, which is the image or the video that you use in the ad. We have the display URL, the headline, the description, and the CTA or the call to action button. So you don't want to overthink things when you're launching your first ad. So don't try to be too sophisticated or spend too much time or resources on creating these ads. Keep things simple, but here are some tips on how to do that. So we want to avoid this type of ad with a stock image. I know it's so much easier to just go on the internet and Google classroom photos. This one is exactly one of those, but it is not authentic. This looks like any other ad that I would see anywhere in the world. It also doesn't include a lot of ad copy. I'm not saying that a lot of ad copy is the way to go, but it should definitely list some of the features and benefits of your course. Again, you're trying to convince people that you are the best solution. So hack number 1 or tip number 1 is to look at the open rates of your emails that you send to your subscribers. Hopefully you are doing some email marketing and you have some data to work off. And what I like to do is use the subject lines of the highest opening rates in your ad copy, either in the body or even better in the headline. Again, we want to attract attention, and usually the highest opening rates from your emails will also work on your ads. So that is my tip number 1. Tip number 2 is to look at the engagement on your Facebook and Instagram posts and use the top performing photos and videos. You don't need to change anything. It's literally if this photo of this young woman on the bottom right has been getting a lot of engagement, people are commenting, maybe it's a student story, what a great story, I'm just like her, then I would use that in one of your ads as well. That's always a good sign. Tip number 3 is to sign up to other schools, competitors, but not only in your niche. I would also look in other niches and also other businesses to get their marketing emails. So sign up to the newsletters, see what ad copy they're using, the headlines they're using, what grabs your attention. And also when you're surfing the internet, when you're scrolling through Instagram and Facebook, downloading some stuff or searching through Google, what ads grab your attention and make you stop scrolling or make you to or get you to pause and read what the ad is about. I like to take screenshots of these ads and create a personal swipe file or a folder where I keep them there for inspiration and to model off. Number 4, and probably one of the best ways to get inspiration, is you don't need to reinvent the wheel. Why not model your ad campaigns off of something that is already proven? And so this is a great tool to use. It is the Facebook ad library. And what you can do, let's go here. We are in the Facebook ads library. Just Google Facebook ads library and you'll find it. You want to search for a company. Maybe it's your competitor, maybe it's a business or a company in a different niche. You want to set the location to all countries. You want to set the ad category to all ads, and then you would put in the name of the company. So let's do a big company like Duolingo. And you will get shown all of the ads that are currently running through the Duolingo account. I think this is extremely useful to know what big size companies, medium sized companies, small sized companies are doing, again, to get inspiration. And what you want to do is to scroll as far as you can, all the way down the bottom, and see what ads are still active and have been active for the longest time. So for example, this ad is active and has been running since the 15th of October 2020. Now, if this ad was not effective, they would not be running it. And they've been running it for 1.5 years. So we can safely assume that this is a really good ad and we can play it. I won't play it now, but have a look at what type of creative are they using? What type of photo or video? What are the elements in it? Do they use a lot of color? Is it flashy? Is it funny? Is it controversial? Are they using photos and videos of students and teachers? Have a look at the ad copy. In this case, it's very short. It's literally one sentence. One quite strong sentence because they use the world's most popular way to learn a language. I mean, that's a bold statement. And you want to look at the headline, of course, the description, and also check out their landing page. Also very important. See what kind of funnel or sales funnel they have. Maybe sign up for their free demo or their newsletter, again, to get more information so that will help you with your campaign. So this is an excellent tool and one we use at our ads agency for our clients to see what's out there, do research on what competitors are doing to get an idea of what is working for their products. And last but not least, number 5 is take what your students and your customers are saying and put it in the ad. Basically verbatim, use the words that they are using, the problems that they have, use the same ones because you will find that most likely other potential students will use the same words, have the same problems, are looking for these same experiences. So leveraging reviews and testimonials in your ads is a fantastic way of utilizing content that you already have. So again, I've given you some ideas on how to get inspiration for ads, and you really want to collect a library of all these ideas and strategies because we always want to be testing different variations, different type of ad copies, creatives, headlines, call to actions to really find that perfect combination of audience, creative, and ad copy that really resonates with our target audience. So before we get started and I dive into Ads Manager and show you how to create your first retargeting campaign, just to make sure that before you do this, you really have to have these things done first. Number one, I already mentioned, is open a business manager account by going to business.facebook.com. Number two is installing the Facebook pixel onto your website. And adding events that you want to be tracked. So again, there are YouTube tutorials on how to do this. We won't go through it today. That's its own module. But you want to make sure that not only you have the Facebook pixel installed, but you are tracking the events that are most important to you so that you know, all right, someone signed up for a free trial. Someone purchased a course for this amount of money. And so installing the Facebook pixel will also help with your ad campaigns because Facebook will then know what to optimize for in your ads. Number three is verifying your domain name, which is a very simple step. It's a little bit of code that you need to put in the header of your website. And number four is aggregated event measurement, a very long term, sounds very complicated. It really isn't. It is just prioritizing the events that you set up. Usually you would probably only have 3, maybe 4 events: purchase, contact inquiry, lead, maybe that's about it. And you need to prioritize those events in terms of importance. Of course, purchase is the number one priority, followed by probably a free demo or a lead, and then a contact form. So those 4 things you must set up before you launch your first ad campaigns. But let's get into it. So let's assume you've already got that set up. First of all, we need to create our audiences. And I said that for retargeting, we want to use custom audiences. So let me show you how we do that. Let's create a custom audience here in the Audiences tab. And we have a number of options here. Now, the first one is, of course, website visitors. Your demo pixel will be installed properly, and this should be green. And that will tell you that it's all installed correctly. And so we want to target all website visitors, and you can target up to 180 days. And why not take the maximum? And we will call it visitors 180 days. And create audience. Done. Very, very easy. Let's create another custom audience. We definitely want to target Facebook and Instagram followers. So you will see here Instagram account and Facebook page. We just click on next, search for your Facebook page, and you can choose everyone who engaged with your page. The maximum retention here is 365 days. I would keep it at 365. I mean, you could reduce that to 180, but let's go the maximum so that we have the largest retargeting audience size available. So let's just call this FB365, create audience. Done. We would do the same for Instagram. This takes a second to load. But basically, it is identical to Facebook. So I won't do that. You would set that up. And then any customer lists that you have. Now, again, you will need to export this data from your newsletter software, maybe MailChimp, ActiveCampaign, whatever you're using, or maybe just an Excel sheet with a list of leads that have come in over the years. Again, you want to have as many emails as possible in this. And so basically what you do is you just copy and paste the emails into here. So example@gmail.com. Oh, sorry, I can't even, I'm going to have to. So let me. I actually need to copy and paste this. Done. Let's call this newsletter subscribers, and then next. Done. And so you would create multiple lists depending on how many email lists you have, maybe one for newsletter subscribers, one for unconverted leads, one for contact inquiries, et cetera, et cetera. So anyone who hasn't purchased from you, basically, who isn't a student, but they're in your mailing list. And so we have all these audiences here, and now we can go and create our campaign. So we need to go to Ads Manager, and we need to create a campaign. Now, there are lots of different campaign objectives that Facebook show you, and this can already be extremely confusing. Like a lot of these sound very relevant. Of course, I want brand awareness for my company. Of course, I want more traffic to my website. Of course, I want more leads. But at the end of the day, what we want is for people to take a specific action on your website. And so for 95% of the cases, you would always want to choose a conversions campaign because it is optimized for getting people to take that specific action you want them to take. So let's choose conversion, continue. And now we are shown the 3 different levels I mentioned before: the campaign level, the ad set level, and the ad level. Under the campaign level, there's really not much you want to do here. I would keep everything as the default. You probably want to rename this. Let's call it retargeting traffic. Then on the ad set level, this is where you set the budget and you choose the conversion event that you want to optimize for. And so in the retargeting traffic, we are closer to the sale. People already know about you. We want them to purchase. We want them to enroll or register in a course. So the event you would choose, and again, you must have this set up before you do this through the Facebook pixel. Let's assume that has been done. So we would want to optimize for the purchase conversion event. Then we scroll down. You would set your budget. Now, depending on the number of website visitors you get and the size of your audiences, let's assume you don't have hundreds and thousands of website visitors a month and hundreds and thousands of email subscribers. You can start a retargeting campaign for as little as 2, 3, 4, 5 euros or dollars or pounds. So it really is not a big budget, but it is the most effective way to spend your budget. So let's say 5 euros a day. Do not have an end date because you really want these retargeting campaigns to continue running for basically forever, because we want them to keep on working and keep in front of people. So now it is time to choose our audience, and we have already set up our audiences. So you need to go down here, and you can see that the 3 audiences that we just created are listed here, and we want to choose all of them. So newsletter subscribers, Facebook followers in the last 365 days, and website visitors 180 days. Now, we want to go back here and adjust some of these settings, possibly. Keep everything open, and I would also keep locations open as well. So you're targeting worldwide. This doesn't mean you're targeting everyone in the world for an ad. These are only people who are in these audiences here. Unless you are selling an in-person course or in-person lessons, and you want to limit the geographic range of that, then yes, I would recommend you only putting the city or the country here. Otherwise, in most cases, especially if you're doing online, I would leave this completely open. Keep the ages 18 to 65 plus, all genders. And so you're really only limiting the audience by people who are in these lists. I recommend automatic placements for now, especially when you're starting off. It's the recommended by Facebook, so you don't have to do anything there. And now we get to the ad level, and this is where you actually create your ads. You will need to choose your Facebook page and your Instagram account. Again, these should be connected in your business manager, which is one of the first steps you need to take. And now you need to actually create your ad. We have some different options here, some different ad formats: a single image or video, a carousel, which is a collection of images or videos where you can kind of scroll across, or a collection ad. I recommend to stick with a single image or video ad. And let me just get rid of this. And this is where you then set up your ad. Now you want to add now your photo or videos. You would upload those. I have some example ones here already. Let's use myself as an example. And so I would upload this. Make sure to keep these in the original format so that the whole photo or video is showing. I didn't mention this, but your photos should always be in square format or this 1:1 format because it just works with all placements. And with your videos, I either recommend square or 1:1 or the 4:5 vertical format, which is a little longer. So make sure that your photos and videos are in the right format. Otherwise, there's the danger that they might be cut off and then it's not shown properly to your audience. So we have uploaded our first video, and now we need the text, headline, description. I have some example ad copy here. Let's assume we are promoting an IELTS exam preparation course. And so I already have some example ad copy here. And when you are writing your ad copy or jotting down your ideas, I recommend doing it in Google Sheet or in Excel and having these headlines here so you know exactly what you need for the ad, and all you need to do is copy and paste. So let us copy and paste. So the headline, we do it here. The description, copy and paste it here. The body of the ad, which is the primary text. Get rid of these quotation marks. And then we need to choose our call to action. There are multiple calls to action. For retargeting, again, we are at the later stages of the sales funnel. So this is, again, where you can be a little more direct. So something like sign up or apply now or book now, I would choose for a retargeting ad. We would need our URL. This is, of course, an example URL, but this would be your URL to this specific course page. Then that is all done. So now we have our first ad. Let's call this ad 1. Now you'll notice that we only have one ad in here. And most people, when they launch campaigns like this, they only keep one ad. They only have one ad, which means that they're putting all their eggs and all their ad budget into kind of one basket, into this one ad. And they're hoping that this one ad will perform. But we don't want to do that. We want to test different variations because we know different people react differently to different types of media. So what you want to do is duplicate this ad. And so everything stays the same ad copy, the same headline, but you change the creative. So let's call this ad 2. And then we go in here to media and choose a different image. Let's say we want a video. And so this is an example video, let's say, of a student testimonial. And so we have that. I would duplicate again and test another creative, ad 3. And this time, let's choose another image. Let's say this one. This is, of course, a real student. And there we have it. 3 different types of ads. I recommend anywhere between 3 and 5 different types of ads or creators in one ad set. And this way, Facebook's algorithm also has the chance to find out what combination of creative and ad copy works best for your customer. And so once all that is done and you have 3, 4, 5 different types of ads, then press publish, and you have your first campaign launched, which is very exciting. You might have to go here and review and make sure that these are all published. And it should then say processing. And in a few minutes, probably takes 20 minutes to an hour, your ads will start delivering if everything has been set up correctly. Yes, so that is really a brief overview of Facebook ads, and I showed you how to create your own retargeting ad campaign, which is the first campaign that I recommend for anyone who wants to kind of try out Facebook ads for themselves. And so here are some of your action steps. First of all, you want to map out your sales funnel and figure out your goals for these campaigns. Do you want to generate leads? Do you want to generate free demos? Or do you want to generate signups or course enrollments? Build your retargeting audiences, just as I showed you, and then create some ads by using some of the techniques like going through ads library, signing up for your competitors or other industries, mailing letters, and so on and so forth. Yes, if you have any questions, I would be happy to answer them now. We have some time for live Q&A. And of course, if you'd like some information on our digital ads agency and how we help education brands attract and convert more students through paid advertising, feel free to visit me at herbertgozer.com.
Wow, that is great, Herbert. What a that was a total guide to everything you'd need to know about Facebook ads for anyone that's even starting out. And even I definitely learned a lot from you even now. And Korinne.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. There was 1 or 2 things there I went, oh,
no, it's a lot of information.
Explains a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic.
I thought that was brilliant. We have a couple of minutes for some questions, so I'll just let some people write in a few ideas. My one was more about I've got here with your Facebook ads, and particularly retargeting. Are you suggesting like a fairly kind of like, hey, this is my product, would you like to buy it kind of approach, or are you really still at that point trying to get somebody to a webinar, trying to get somebody to something that's kind of lower touch, lower risk, just kind of an engagement?
That can absolutely work as well. I mean, especially with something like a webinar, if it's not like for our webinars, for example, we run retargeting ads, or at least through the agency to get people to sign up for the webinars. That's always great to leverage your existing audience for new content, new events, new products, new offers. Yes.
Excellent.
I actually had a quick question, if that's okay.
Go for it, Korinne.
It's a little bit more technical, and hopefully it doesn't sound too silly.
No
but when you were talking about having the different variations of the ad, and you said 3 to 5, my question is, do those 3 to 5 ads share the budget that you've set, or do you need to actually set a specific budget for each ad?
No. So you set the budget at the ad set level. So for example, 10 pounds per day. And then you have these 4 or 5 different ads. They will share the budget, but it won't be shared evenly between the 4 of them. Facebook's algorithm will start putting it out into the world and seeing which ad performs best. And Facebook's algorithm will then allocate the budget accordingly. So if ad 1, for example, gets a lot of engagement and a lot of leads or conversions, then Facebook knows, all right, we'll put all of the ad budget there. But in the first kind of 24 to 72 hours, the algorithm is testing, so it's more evenly
Sure.
distributed, because we need to know, collect the data to see
Yeah.
which ad performs best, and then Facebook goes to work and allocates to the best performing ad.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Herbert, I'm not sure if we've got a very specific question here, but if somebody does end up having problems with, say, verification or anything like that, let's say they've got some kind of issue with Facebook, what would you recommend?
There are many issues with Facebook. A lot of issues with account verification, getting ads, getting ad accounts restricted, or your Facebook page banned. The best way is to contact Facebook through their support chat if you have it available for you. I know that not everyone has that available. So when you go into your business manager or your business suite, I know that some markets, some countries, it's called business suite. At the bottom left, there's a question mark, and I think it's the help question mark. Go there and see if you have access to the live chat, because then you can really get support there with your specific case. Yes, I mean, verification, I know is a problem. Sometimes they ask you to upload an ID, your passport and business details, and then they don't get back to you. And sometimes you really need to be on their case about it and follow up until they do something about it, unfortunately. You would think that one of the largest companies in the world would have a better process, but that's unfortunately how it is.
At least reassuring there, Herbert. Excellent. I think we're going to finish up. We're going to just wait for a moment or two just to see if there's any last questions.
There was one question here from Becca, and that was, can you recommend the length of time for a video ad?
Yes, I can. The shorter, the better. I would say maximum 30 seconds. When you're starting out, maximum 30 seconds. But again, the shorter, the better. 20 seconds is even better. And I know that doesn't sound like a lot, but you need to try and pack in enough content, enough information as possible. But the kind of the first goal of any video is to capture people's attention. So the first 1 or 2 seconds is absolutely vital. It's got to be bang, bright colors, a photo of a person, or someone doing something unusual, or in a beautiful background, or maybe something controversial. Again, unfortunately today it's all about attention, and people don't have that much attention. So you got to grab it as fast as possible.
Well put. So Herbert, we're going to finish up today. I think that's all of our questions that we have time for. So thanks so much for listening in. For those of you that are listening in, you can find more about Herbert's amazing agency at herbertgoertzer.com. What are the kinds of businesses that you work with, by the way, Herbert?
We work with a lot of language schools. We are both in-person and online schools, online courses, basically any company or business that sells education or learning.
Amazing. And Korinne, you're sort of a very complementary service as well, particularly around content marketing. Tell us about you.
Absolutely. So I do a lot of content marketing, and that really, when you say content marketing, it includes a whole bunch of different things. So if you have a blog and you need somebody to either coach you through that writing process, or if you need somebody to write it for you, I do that. Also things around social media, organic content. So Herbert was talking about paid ads. So I do the other side of that, which is the organic content that you make and you put it out there without paying to promote it. So again, that can be strategy. It could be coaching you through, how to do that. It could be managing it for you. So there's lots of different things that we do around content marketing.
Fantastic. Well, thank you all for listening in. Also, if you'd like to learn more about LearnCube, you can find us at www.learncube.com. And actually, one other area that you can kind of engage with us is in the Get More Students community. You can find us at getmorestudents.org. It's a great community. It's all free. It's going to provide, again, we really want to help people go through this process of getting more students and building better businesses through better marketing. And Herbert and Korinne, you've been foundational to that. So thank you both.
Thank you,
Thank
Alex.
you. Thank you for
Thanks
having
all.
us.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.
Bye.